Hello friends, family and other creatures of the sea. Welcome back to another high-level best of 5. Today we have Hero in the bottom right as our blue Protoss player here. And in the top left we got Solar starting as the red Zerg today on Berlingrad. I love watching me some Hero games. Hero is the type of Protoss player that per matchup has more build orders than he has fingers and toes combined. So we're talking a very large number here. These are big numbers, my friends. We're talking 25 to 30 build orders per matchup is what we can kind of put Hero on. And he has infinite variations. Like this guy is absolutely bananas. Opens up with a Stalker here as well. So you already know that no matter what it's going to be darn good. Most likely going to be something Twilight or Robotics Facility related. Yep, there we go. Robotics Facility is indeed going to be the tech of choice. As this first Stalker, I don't think it will be capable of taking out the Overlord in time. Hero is going to try nonetheless, of course. And these are going to be some scary moments here for Solar. As Zerg should be kind of sure what will happen. Oh, actually, this Ling might be capable of getting in because of this. Oh, Solar! Very sloppy here. This Ling had the opportunity to go towards the main base and figure out what tech was being built, but didn't actually use his Ling for that. The Ling just idled around, waiting for the Stalker to be done with this Overlord, and the Ling ends up falling. That was very sloppy, because getting the info early that it's a robotics facility rather than a Twilight Council is some big information that Solar would have loved to have. Robo Bay as a follow-up, so we're probably looking at a Disruptor or a Colossus drop. I would personally expect a Disruptor drop, but Colossi drops have been used in the past. There used to be a very famous build order called the Double Middle Finger Drive-By, which was a Colossi drop with speed into a double Archon drop with speed as well. This build had a lot of potential, let me tell you that much. The initial Colossi can deal quite well with both Links and drones, which tend to be the initial response to any type of Disruptor or any type of Robo-Bay drop, basically. The real issue comes around though when you realize that the Queens absolutely destroy Colossi, but then again, Queens also absolutely destroy Disruptor drops. If Queens are in the correct position, life is difficult. Now, first Disruptor is going to be built here as Solar sends his second Overlord in, scouts a pylon and wanted to go back. I was like, oh, that's a pylon. I think we know enough now. He wants to get more supply. Let's report back. Now, he's gonna go in, see the prism here, and this should be kind of clear as day as to what's happening. Most likely we'll also see this Disruptor pop out, and that should mean that he knows what's kicking off. 36 workers and starts producing roaches. That might be the incorrect call. The Spore might be the incorrect call as well. We're seeing more Links being built. No extra Queens yet. I'm actually kind of surprised right now. Spore as well? Okay, this is a zoning Spore, making sure that the prism can't really get there. It is also turned into a zoning Spore. I wouldn't mind some extra creep tumors though in this main base. Could be very helpful in putting that Spore somewhere else. This is getting followed up by double Stargate. Okay, this is a non-build order. Now, I did say that Hero had more build orders than he had toes and fingers combined, but I have never seen this in my entire life. And does it? You know, we don't have a category for this build yet. What in the... A double Disruptor drop into double Stargate. I've seen a lot of crazy stuff over the years, but this really is pushing it. So these Disruptors try to deal some damage. I think they killed nothing. Literally nothing. Now 2 Phoenixes are on the way, and I think Solar's going to scout that Cyber Core is spinning right now. I'm not sure if he's paying attention to it, you know? This might be so unbelievable that even if Solar would scout it, he'd say, that's not, you know, it's not real. It can't be real, right? Because this is ridiculous. And, you know, it's not supposed to be ridiculous. But this really is. Look how many Zealots he's building. This looks like the type of thing that an AI would play. You know, an AI programmed in the year 2011. It's like, oh, this looks good. We let him make a lot of Zealots and a couple of Phoenix as well. And then afterwards he'll tech into Carrier, Tempest, Oracle, High Templar without Storm, and 4 DTs. Any Archons? No Archons. It's like, this is actually AI level build orders. Except it's hero, so it has to be good. This is the frustrating thing. Sometimes, this is why I like watching hero so much. Sometimes in a matchup or in life, you kind of feel stuck, you know? You just kind of keep repeating the same things again and again, and in your mind, you're kind of, there are some restrictions on the things that you can do. So you think to yourself, well, what other options do I have? And you just don't see any options. And then in those types of cases, it's always great to take a look at some hero games, because hero has more options than the rest of us. He just makes his own crap. And if someone goes, well, that doesn't sound too great, he goes like, well, so what if it doesn't sound so great? I have 10 builds that are great. I have 35 builds that aren't so great. But if you combine all these builds together, the Zerg is absolutely going to destroy his own mind, trying to figure out a decent counter. And here right now, Solar built a crap ton of units, anticipating some type of all-in. And instead he's going to lose 4 queens for free. He'll have no queens remaining. All the zealots at home now make sense for the counterattack against these links. Disruptors and phoenixes deal well with roaches and ravagers. Guess what deals well with links? Exactly, zealots. Hero won this game. This game is over. This build was not a build and made 0 sense. But of course it is going to work, and he's absolutely winning this. This game is 100% over. What was his follow-up plan? Just more phoenixes. That is one hell of a follow-up plan. This is one of the greatest builds I've seen in my entire life. He had no gases yet. Just look at what hero has done to Solar's mind. I just want you guys to appreciate truly, like, how far hero is up Solar's head, like, and how rent-free he is living there. Solar just all in into a player that is on 4 gases, has no upgrades, no tech, no future plan, while Solar is getting a fort base, upgrades, up to 67 drones. Like, yeah, like talking about living rent-free in someone's head. Like, Solar, he was lost. He was lost this game. He was lost in his own house. Unbelievable. All right, 1-0 for hero. Let's hop into our second game. Here we are in game number 2 on 2K Atmospheres. As hero, this is one of the things he does best. Like, actually, I talked with a lot of Zerg players, and whenever they play against hero, they always tell me, I'm not sure how he does it, but his actual his movement with the probe and his mineral harass is superior to anyone else I've ever played against. It's just the best. He's so darn annoying with that stupid probe, and you consistently hear this from different Zergs. It's kind of funny. Pylon's gonna get cancelled here. Was a fake cannon rush. Now, I don't think this was actually worth it. Like, the cost of a fake cannon rush is honestly pretty big. And I hear you guys say, pretty big? Harstem, this is 25 minerals. And I say, well, it's not just 25 minerals, because it does something else. The timing at which you're building the pylon at is the timing where you want to be building your gas. So as a result, we actually see that hero built his second pylon before the gas, because not getting supply block has priority, but he just didn't have the money for the quicker assimilator at that time. So his gas count is going to be lower. Now, this is not the end of the world if you're opening up with a robotics facility, or if you're opening up with a Twilight even. So with these 2 builders, it makes some sense. He's opening up Robo first and delays his warp gate here on purpose. It's kind of a cute move. We'll get into that, why that is kind of a cute move after we see the end of these interactions here. Kind of curious what this adept can do. What could perhaps die. He's not careful. No, he's going to kill 1 lane instead. So the reason this is a cute little move, and one that is pretty common with Robo first, is because whenever Zerg players see a slow, delayed warp gate, they kind of, their gut feeling immediately tells them, hey, this is most likely going to be Stargate. Because it can be Twilight, it is super reliant on warp gate. It can be Robo, but Robo just tends to be the option that it is less likely to be. Okay, so it's going to be a Robo Bay first, once again. So kind of just having many builds with Robo Bay first. Now, I say many builds, although we haven't seen the follow-up yet. I know that hero will not do a repeat build order. I honestly can't remember the last time I've seen hero do a repeat build order, unless it was in PvT, he sometimes used to play proxy Stargate 3 times in a row. I have seen that, but in most other matchups, I really can't recall him doing repeat build orders. He just doesn't do it. He has so many different builds that it's not necessary for him. It simply is not necessary. Needs to be careful though. Cannot get. Are you kidding me? Oh my god. His movement is wild as well. Like, he's such a wild cookie. A good wild cookie though. Very delicious wild cookie, but he still needs to be kind of careful. Disruptor drop once again. Double pylon going down as well, as we have a lot of gas mining here. So I'm almost getting tempted to say it might actually be the double Stargate. But at the same time, I'm tempted to say that would make no sense to play it twice in a row. This is hero we're watching, not some idiot who can only play one build order. This Stalker's going to deny it. We have 2 Zealots on the way right now. And this is going to join up with the Disruptor. So it's going to be a 2 Zealot Disruptor drop and a second Prison. No. Double Stargate. He's actually playing the same build. No, it's not the same build. So this is going to be into an Immortal all-in. So it looks similar, but it ain't. Yeah, that's important to note here. The Zealots, by the way, are pretty smart. So the goal of the Zealots here is kind of clear to me. The goal of the Zealots is to damage the Queens so that the Disruptor can one-shot the Queens. Which is kind of cool if the Disruptor was on cooldown. Or off cooldown. But it wasn't. That was really close to dying there into the Spore. Needs to be somewhat careful. Once again, getting the cybernetic score upgrade pretty quickly. So that should be a dead giveaway of what's happening. But perhaps it ain't. This prison, this is suicide. This is a suicide mission. It truly is. Going to catch that queen at least, but needs to start recalling. Like right now, hero. Like, this is not okay. This is really not okay. We do not do that here. We absolutely do not do that here. Now, Solar has spotted what's going on. I mean, multiple times over, right? He's seen this cybernetic square move. There are 4 gateways on the way. No 3rd base yet. Solar's going to be building roaches. I think queens are genuinely a good call. As this disruptor, I'm not quite sure what it's doing, but I think it killed something, as I see 2 drones have disappeared from the map. May their drone souls rest in peace. It's going to be 2 Immortals, 2 Sentries, somewhere around 7 gateways. 7 gateway, double Stargate. I've seen a lot of weird builds, but once again, this makes very little sense. And I have a feeling this should never in a million years work. Like, really never in a million years. The only redeeming factor, the only redeeming quality of this build right now is that there's only 6 queens. And Solar needs to up that queen count right now. It is absolutely vital just now getting 3 extra queens. Although this +1 research has been researching for entire 2 minutes already practically. 6 Phoenixes will not be capable of dealing too much damage here. So there's plenty of queens with plenty of transfuse available as well. A 3rd base gets taken. Now this is a fake 3rd base. Because this is a real push. So it's a... Wait, where did the Prism go? Okay, Prism is still alive with a Disruptor in it. This actually is kind of risky out of Solar, because he could have just picked up 5, 6 of these roaches and then killed those for free. Right now, Solar's actually droning up, getting Overlord speed. This is the longest con I've seen in my entire life. Like, this really is the long con here. I'm almost starting to believe that this is a 3rd base. Wait, is it a 3rd base? I think even Hero doesn't know anymore whether the 3rd base is real or fake. They just lose 2 Phoenixes. He lost 4 Phoenixes already, killed 6 queens. There's a bunch of roaches on the map. Honestly, these roaches being on the map is super scary. There's a Disruptor drop around. There's a bunch of Phoenixes with +1 that can kill stuff really quickly. I think he can pick up some of these queens if he was a little bit more attentive there. 84 workers right now for Solar against a fake 3rd base all-in, I think. But there are probes, but there is no follow-up. Like, it is absolutely impossible to call what Hero is doing. And I'm really starting to believe that he also doesn't know what's going on in this game. I mean, he's building stalkers and he has a weird amount of slow zealots. It's so difficult to know whether he's a genius and I just don't understand him, or if I do understand him and the things he does are just bad. But I believe he's a genius because he tends to win all the time, and I'm too dumb to get it. And I wish I could. But right now he's taking extra gases and he's down 20 workers. Solar has been too afraid to get any major upgrades up until this point, and right now he's getting centrifugal hooks. I guess his +1 just finished, so that's something. This overseer has been basically around the entire time, which is wild considering there have been like, what is this, 12 phoenixes on the map in total already. There is a double disruptor drop here. Oh wait, this actually is kind of cool. So one of the things that is good against disruptor drops is obviously air units, because they kill prisms. And another thing is queens. And with the mass phoenixes... Oh my god, did you just lose the disruptor? No. What happened there? I thought something died. I might have just picked it up before it finished. With the disruptor drop, he kind of forces there to be a lot of queens, and as a Zerg, you kind of want to build Mira. So right now this disruptor drop is just going to stay alive forever because of the phoenixes, and the phoenixes, they actually synergize really well with the disruptor drop. I hadn't quite considered that yet, this synergizing between these two units in how they function by staying on the map. This was absolutely terrible, by the way. As I'm complimenting him on his decision making, his execution has been rather lackluster, because this prism can just stay around, float around, and whenever the cooldown is off, throw down some shots. And if you send over roaches to deal with it, you can pick up the roaches. If you send over queens to deal with the disruptor drop, you can pick off the queens. So you just kind of get this cool synergizing, I don't know what to call it, synergizing, this cool synergy, that's the word I was looking for, between these units, and this harassment, it just works really well in combination with one another. He almost hit himself with a disruptor shot. It was a cool disruptor, or a cool zoning disruptor shot. This army, however, out of hero is still utter crap. So although, oh my god, look at that. 35 banelings rolling into a bunch of stalkers and probes and just kill absolutely everything. So although I really like the harassment, the fact that his eco has been sucking massively for the past 9 minutes, well no, for the past 6 minutes, has not been helping. His army is also utter crap because he decided to build stalkers. Do these stalkers even have upgrades? Okay, they do have blink, they have +1 as well. A lot of these sentries are going to end up falling. Good force fields though. These are some really nice force fields. I just don't think it's going to be enough. There's 4 immortals in this army. There's actually not that much solar right now. There really isn't. There's not that many banelings. There's a couple of ravagers on the way. Hero starts taking this out. The problem is that Hero has absolutely nothing. And Solar right now is saying, let me delete that third base. I'm still not sure if that was a fake third base or a real third base. But right now all I care about is that it's gone. And that is something that that is definitely not an illusion. So we can state that with certainty. Solar can as well. It's nice to know some things for sure. And another thing I know for sure is that this move out is not necessary. Solar just killed a third base while he's on 5 bases. His opponent's 4th is barely mining. Solar is maxed. He's on hive tech. He's like triple out mining his opponent. At this point, I really believe that all Solar needs to do is not die. I feel like Solar has been surviving for the past 6 minutes and Hero has not been killing him. And as a result, now Solar is very far ahead. It is really difficult to play against this type of style that Hero is playing though, because it's hard to make the correct calls here. If you attack too quickly, you're attacking into an all-in. If you attack too slow, then the Protoss kind of gets back into the game and gets a pretty decent army. Well, this Robo definitely is going to die. This Disruptor might just stay alive though. I'm not so sure what Hero's plans are, but I hope he starts executing them pretty quickly. This has been the longest con I've ever been a part of. I still feel like there's a surprise supposed to come out at some point. It seems like the surprises are all gone. This build has been nothing but confusing and mind-blowing in good and in bad ways. I really like the way that the Phoenix and the Disruptor synergized. I disliked everything else about the build, but Hero is very big on playing so many builds, and some of them are just not going to be great. But if you put everything together, you have this package of complete bollocks, and that entire package is good. But some things in there will not be good. But they are strong together, basically. That's the entire point of playing this many build orders. Well, these disruptors are moving in right now, and well, I'm not quite sure what the disruptors were doing, but these banelings are killing workers, that's for sure. At the same time, big Ling run by in towards the natural. Disruptor will try to save it, but yeah, this game is absolutely over. There's nothing that hero can do anymore. He's still going to try for one fight, of course. You have to, you're obliged to, but there's absolutely zero chance that he's going to win right now. He has a decent army size, I'll give him that. And these disruptor shots, oh my, that's a big disruptor shot. That is some big disruptor shots right there. Well, these are going to whiff. And at this point, I mean, there's ultras on the way against a stalker immortal disruptor army. Biles are going to hit. The ultras will be nothing but an afterthought. There's 9 probes left over. Link's moving towards the 4th base right now. GG gets called as Solar wins game number 2 in one of the more confusing games in the history of StarCraft 2. Game number 3 is going to be played over here on Curious Minds, as we have hero moving out with a quick probe. And this guy is going real fast with that first probe, especially for Curious Mind. Phew, he's going to arrive so early. Even if Solar were to play like a 14 hatch, he'd probably be capable of blocking it. Well, maybe not quite, but it's close. Look at that. 100 minerals of the Overlord. Okay, maybe it wouldn't be possible. It's pretty close. Usually you arrive at like 41. Nah, more like 44 is when I arrive. And hero's going to actually arrive at like 38. That's so quick. Man, he has the fastest probe across the map out of anyone I've ever seen. And he's also going to try to block this one. Do you send a second drone in that case? Nah. Solar didn't buy the bluff. Because you know that the TOS always wants to block the natural in the end, you know? So they're never going to fully chase, I guess. That's a fact. That definitely is a fact. It's going to be gateway into a simulator here. Now, I've seen Hero play a bunch of build orders on this map. And it's difficult to say what he's going to play, but I know that he likes Glaive build orders into Stargate on this map. And Glaive build orders without a robotics facility. So it's something just to keep in mind for now, that he likes these Glaive into robo facility builds, and we'll keep an eye on that. Is all I want to say. We'll keep an eye on these builds because they can be quite powerful. It's important for Solar to also kind of keep it in mind. Make sure that he knows what's kicking off. What's going on here on the side of Hero? So he's just going to get a cybernetics core after the Nexus. Solar with the forward base on the 3rd, of course. And we should be soon looking at what type of tech Hero's doing. Because let's be real here, Solar's going to be the player responding to everything, while Hero is going to be the player in charge of everything. Now the funny thing is that I believe the one way that you can take Hero out is by actually taking initiative. And we saw that in the GSL where, spoiler alert, 1, 2, 3, in which Ragnarok proxy hatched against Hero twice and actually really confused Hero, and he took the initiative, and from there on out Ragnarok just managed to play out the games. It was really, really cool to see, in my opinion, how that interaction kind of worked out for Ragnarok, who I think most people would consider a worse player than Hero, with some good preparation managed to do it. And it's one of these things where people believe that because Hero and Haas and Prince and I'm sure there's a couple of others who have these weird early game shenanigans, because the games tend to be chaotic or very different, is that they're always capable of just improvising very well. And I don't think that is necessarily true. I actually believe that these players, one of the reasons why they take control of the game so early is because they actually don't like reacting as much, and they like having people responding to what they're doing. So if you can kind of switch that game on them, if you can switch that around, that entire mechanic of you responding to them, they often have subpar responses because they don't have anything prepared, even against more standard things. They don't actually thrive in chaos, they thrive in their own chaos, and that is very, very different. And that's something that I think some people have recognized in the past already and have used and abused very well. And there's still a lot of people that feel comfortable in just responding to people like hero. They say, well, if I respond perfectly, like his builds are optimized, but they don't tend to be the theoretically perfect build orders, right? So if you respond well, you're going to be further ahead than against someone who plays a more quote-unquote standard game. So just a couple of thoughts there. A couple of thoughts to, you know, just to think about, like with most thoughts. Just need to, you know, just kind of take them in, consider it a bit. I think it's true, and it's probably not true for every single one of these players. Like, if we consider the case of SOS, I truly do believe that SOS was very good in chaotic situations. And even when he wasn't in control of games, he could kind of create chaos by himself and take a lead in a lot of these moments. I really do believe that. He did seem to always struggle a little bit with very tight all-ins, because his build orders were kind of meant to confuse, and if someone just stuck to their own plan and just all-in, that often was difficult for him to deal with. But especially I'm thinking of like PvZ stuff. But yeah, it's just an interesting thought on these playstyles. Solar is going to scout the Dark Shrine. We'll start building Triple Spore immediately. Cute little build order here out of hero, but nothing game changing. I mean, it's a 4 Glaive adept drop. It's going to try and snipe some workers. Actually does a decent job. It's impressive. His target fire is very, very good. As the Dark Shrine is about to finish up, he follows this up with an Immortal Dark Templar push. He warps in 2 DTs at home. And I say this is going to be a push, but of course it is really difficult to know whether something will be a push or whether something is going into a third base. Because this is one of the main mechanics that hero uses. Oh, hold that thought. This Archon is getting surrounded. That's a very expensive loss here. Good pickoff out of Solar. Takes out a Stalker as well. Very cute move. Sees the second Immortal and sees a Sentry. Yeah, what I was going to say is one of the main mechanics that hero uses is taking third bases and then the Zerg not knowing whether it's a real one or a fake one. And if it's real and you're building units, it sucks. But if it's fake and you're building drones, you might just die against this push. So we see Solar a little bit in doubt on what to do exactly. 6 roaches on the way, 7 roaches on the way. Okay, it's going to be a bigger flood of roaches here, but hero's just transitioning. He's getting into a forge, it's getting actual workers as well. We'll take out 2 more drones as well. And these are the type of moves I really like, by the way. He's just using them how we used to use them in PvP, where you shade in, snipe a sentry, then pick them up with the prism. It's cute to see. These are nice moves. It's a good game so far. I really like this entire series. Has been kind of inspiring, at least from a Protoss perspective, on what type of bollocks is possible with the race. It's great to see. Absolutely marvelous. This is a fake push out, and the problem with fake push-outs is that sometimes you get caught with your pants down while you're halfway across the map and the other guy actually bought your fake. And you're like, well, haha, he bought my fake. And then he kills you because he has so many units. And you're like, well, it's not quite what I wanted to happen, but it did. Solar is kind of forced to attack with the army that he has, honestly. Does not have a Baneling Nest with this, so his army is going to suck against Glaive Adept. It's going to suck against, well, honestly, everything. Pure Roach Ravager just isn't as powerful as a couple of Banelings in there. Banelings deal so well with every single gateway unit, and because majority of these armies is usually going to consist of gateway units, I believe that Solar is in kind of a rough spot right now. Hero also is recognizing what's going on. I'm not quite sure how or why, but it's probably something to do with the fact that he's continuously hallucination scouting. He's getting a bunch of batteries, sees this move out right now, and as a response probably could even add 1 or 2 more batteries. He's going to try and control this ramp, and this is a move I like as well. He says, hey, why would I fight all the way out in the open if I can try and hold this ramp, at least for a little bit? I really would like more batteries, more cannons to be built. Oh, he's going to eat a couple of biles there. Now, he was hungry, and his sentries were hungry as well. Ate a couple of biles straight to the face. Now, moving back towards this battery right now is trying to save his Immortals, but Solar actually has a huge army. We'll take out this battery right now. First Disruptor is on the way, but this wasn't quite the fight I thought it was going to be. These Ravagers and Roaches doing absolutely fine against this army. I really didn't think that was going to be possible. Of course, losing these sentries with 4 force fields wasn't helpful, but he absolutely just walked over hero. he effectively just blasted him off the face of the earth. And the hero is kind of, well, not, he's dead. 2 DTs will come in and try to deal some damage, but double overseers popping off. I mean, this is just not going to work here for hero. He's going to need to hit some, well, some impossible disruptor shots here. Like some of the biggest ones of his life. Oh my good lord, that's a good start. That is not a bad start whatsoever. Now, Archon's gonna get taken out. GG gets called. Solar wins the game, puts himself on match point here in this best of 5, as well as hero's tricks fail him for a 2nd time in a row. Game number 4 here between hero and Solar. As hero once again manages to succeed to block Solar's hatchery. And last 2 games haven't been too hot though for hero. So I'm starting to wonder what's a cooking good looking, as he needs to get something here. He needs to get a win. Without a win, it's over. And if it's over, that means we don't get a game 5. And I kind of want a game 5. So better have something cool prepared. It is completely possible that we'll just see a standard Stargate opener. He has played this in the past. He's not incapable of playing standard Stargate openers. He just doesn't play him as much. He prefers playing his Robo shenanigans, his Twilight shenanigans, his anything basically but a Stargate. He's going to be taking a 2nd gas as he moves on to get that pylon as well, hopefully pretty soon. As he continues just kind of controlling the mineral flow of his opponent's main base as well. Making sure that these workers can't mine too much from the close by patches. He's very, very quick with this probe micro release. Even going towards the inside is something we don't see very often. But he loves doing it. He's so confident with his movement. I love to see it. Okay, skip here on the warp gate. Once again, could be Robo, but I think it's Stargate this time. Yep. Feels like a Stargate, looks like a Stargate, smells like a Stargate, and thus most likely is a Stargate. Is he going to follow this up with a Stalker and an Oracle, or is it going to be one of these adept moments into a Void Ray? No chrono on this first adept whatsoever, and the 2nd unit, this is going to be a big reveal to what we will be seeing here. If this is an adept, we're kind of expecting it to be a Void Ray as a first unit, so I am kind of expecting this to be a Void Ray. He's keeping the first adept in the main base, by the way, making sure that if any links run by, he'll be in position. It's not too, not too caring about what Solar is doing. Says, okay, I know that you have a base, at least. Actually, he has no clue what's happening. He hasn't even seen the natural yet. Okay, hero is absolutely wild. Yeah, it's going to be a Void Ray, kind of expected here. Complete skip chrono so far. 2nd gate should go down soon as well. Now, this by no means means... This doesn't mean, is what I'm trying to say, that we'll see a macro game here. He's taking a 3rd gas. He took that in range of the Overlord. I'm not sure if that was intended, but this is going to be a fleet beacon play, if this is real. But that's a big if as well. Should probably fake an Oracle here. It's not going to chrono it. Cancel it. Yeah, okay. I think that Solar might have even still seen that cancel, yeah. So after a unit dies, the Fog of War, like you can still see through the Fog of War for the next 3 seconds. Look at that! He just actually goes into Twilight Council, Robotics Facility, and an extra gateway. Cancels one of the gases. And so this was a fake gas after all. Now, I absolutely bought it. It is just so difficult to figure out if something is real or fake. It is actually impossible almost. Oh my god, he just barely missed that Overlord. That is so unfortunate. That is extremely unfortunate. This is going to be a... I'm not even sure what this is going to be. I guess it's like a charge... just pure charge? Pure charge all in. No, Glaive. 7-gate Glaive adept all in. 8-gate Glaive adept all in. So with a Prism, do you get a Dark Shrine with this? Do you actually get a... Okay, Nexus goes down as well. So this Nexus is obviously late. It's 30 seconds late. Solar's looking at it, thinking to himself, hey, what's kicking off here? What is going on? And I am not sure if he knows what's going on right now, because I don't know what's going on either. Solar should be checking to make sure that no units are being produced from the warp gates. Something you usually want to be doing. No scout. Or at least no scout yet. sometimes faking a battery at a third base can be a powerful tool as well to make sure that your opponent truly believes that it's a third base. Solar has good scouting on the map. His Roadrunner is about to finish up. He's getting more gases. He's building 8 drones right now though, so he's going to be going up to 66 workers against what technically is a two base all-in, right? This is a 2-base all-in, and it's going to hit like a freaking truck right now. 14 Glaive adepts on the map. 5:30 is the timing we're speaking of. And there's going to be some big reinforcements here as well. Now, adepts are shading in. We'll take out a bunch of these links. Might even start fighting these queens right now. When's our next warp in? It's going to be 8 adepts here. Of course. Hello, hero. Are we paying attention? No, we're not. It's going to lose the prism. What a huge loss. And as a result of that, what should have probably been a very clean win is now going to turn into... probably still a win, but is it clean? Is it easy? Is it free? No, it definitely isn't. The fact that Solar has a 4th base might actually help Solar because it allows him to give up this 3rd base right now. And that is huge. As long as the drones stay alive, I think Solar will be fine. Roaches are now fighting. This Evo Chamber needs to be cancelled in order to get a decent fight. But if he cancels the Evo Chamber, the Glaive Adepts can start shading in towards the main base. And that's exactly what Hero will be doing right now. The next Prism is on the way already. Oh, no, sorry, that's a Void Ray. Prism is also out, but is staying at home for a little bit longer. Adepts make their way in towards the main base. These Roaches are going to be falling as well. And I do believe that Solar is in a little bit of trouble. Once these next 8 adepts are going to warp in with the prism eventually, this is going to be very difficult. Void Ray is showing up as well. Glaive adepts in the natural. Glaive adepts going to hit here at the 3rd base. If this 4th base gets hit, that would be huge, because killing this base is nice, but killing 20 drones is going to be way, way nicer. So I'm kind of hoping that that is still happening in the near future here for Hero. Roaches are having trouble fighting these adepts. There's just too many adepts. There is Glio Reconstitution at this point. Adepts finish up their shade and Solar decides it's time to tap out. Hero wins game number 4 with a very old school build order. 8-gate Glaive is something we hardly ever see, and boy did it work well. Great stuff here out of the Korean Protoss player, and we'll be heading into our final game of this best of 5. Game number 5. Our final game in this best of 5, as I'm starting to wonder what Hero has prepared. We started with 2 disruptor drops into double Stargate. We followed that up with, what was the 3rd game? Right, a 4 adept drop into Dark Templars. And then our 4th game, we had a single Void Ray into 8-gate Glaive. So what remains on our checklist of weird build orders that we haven't quite seen yet? Have we seen a dedicated Dark Templar effort yet? Not really. We've seen DTs as a follow-up, but not as a starter. You can really put anything wherever you want it. And you can go open up with Dark Shrine and then follow it up with Glaives. So far you only open up with Glaives and follow it up with Dark Shrine. So something there. Maybe more Stargate focused play, like a double Stargate opener or a single Stargate opener into another all-in. Blackburn is a good map for all-ins. Like, it really is a good map for all-ins. I can assure you that much. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see what Hero actually has planned. It's going to be a Twilight Council. It's a Twilight Council build order without quick warp gate. Are we looking at a Dark Templar drop in that case? It is a possibility. Dark Templar drop, 6-gate Glaive, 4-gate Glaive, a little less likely because of that delay on the warp gate. And with most 4-gate, 3, 6 or 5-gate Glaive build orders, you just want to be getting these initial warp-ins as quickly as you can. So you have a quick chrono boost here on the Nexus. Adept's going to remain in the main base, and this Stalker will eventually take out this bad boy. It is going to be Glaives, but it's going to be without a Robo, because this is straight Glaives. So this will be a follow-up with at least 2 gateways. Right? 1 gateway, 2 gateways. 1 gateway will need to be built in the wall. Now the reason why he's not building these gates in the wall is because he's trying to fake a Stargate build right now. This is a pretty standard gateway timing for a Stargate. So there's a little bit of a mind game going on here. He is playing 4-gate Glaive. He delays the warp gate, delays the gate in the wall, which is technically the 4th gate, but looks like it's a 2nd gate. And then he's just going to play 6-gate Glaive. I'm so confused why, if you want to hide something, you would build it all on the left edge of your base. I feel like this area would be way more suitable for that. But then again, I am not hero, and I'm not playing against Solar, and I'm not 2-2 against Solar. None of these things usually happen. Fake second or third gas being taken. He should be pulling out of gas in the main base at the same time as this, I believe. We're not quite seeing that yet, so maybe he just wants to truly fake me out as well. But if you want more minerals, he could have just pulled out of gas in the main. He's taking a fourth gas as well. He's really trying to sell this thing. He might just want to follow this up with double Stargate, actually. That could be the reason why this is happening. He has a bunch of Glaive adepts. This got scouted. So right now Solar knows that there's 5 gates on the map. There's going to be double Stargate follow-up, isn't it? Yeah. It is 6 adepts at 4 minutes and 30 seconds. And there is no follow-up whatsoever. No robo, no nothing. This is a fake attack. The gateways in the main are fake. He wanted this to be scouted. Because this is not a dedicated effort to killing his opponent whatsoever. He could have gotten more adepts out with 3 gates. The 5 gates are a fake. And that's why he built them on the left side. Here I was doubting. It's like, why would you try to hide your gateways in plain sight where your opponent can scout it? And the reason for that is because he wanted it to be scouted. He wants his opponent to build way more units than he really needs to. Somehow hero, despite only having 8 adepts, is still going to deal more damage with these adepts than most people will do with 14 adepts here. As a couple of workers are going to get taken out. Drones at the third base also falling here. 6 drones getting killed. As I think a Ling Runby managed to enter the natural as well. 3 probes dying. Is Solar aware of the double Stargate? Oh yes he is. He scouted it very well. Is he building queens yet? Well, he's adding 1 queens, only on 3 queens. Needs to really start adding queens, but doesn't quite have the money. Gives priority to the drones here. Gives priority to the lair as well, which is kind of wild. There's no third base yet. This is going to be 5... Okay, so initially these gates were useless, but I think now they're going to be used as kind of a 2-base all-in with Mass Phoenix and Glaives. So he's going to increase his adept count again and again and again. He might build a fake third base here and then continue building more and more adepts. It is so difficult to figure out what is going on in these games. I really just struggle with it. I think that getting queens as a general rule against hero might just be a good play though. Like queens are always going to be fantastic, and I mean, right now these Phoenixes will just deal a lot of damage before the Hydras are out. I think these Phoenix are going to be just a little bit too useful, honestly. There's no Overlords. This Queen is going to fall, which means there's only going to be 3 Queens left. More Overlords could die here as well. These Roaches could be picked off, but it seems like Hero has different plans. Does not want to waste any energy on these Roaches. Says, no, I'd much rather kill drones right now, and can kind of respect that. Yeah, so this is what I was thinking. Now there's going to be a lot more adepts, and it's going to be a pure Phoenix adept army. And with that Phoenix adept army, he's going to try and kill his opponent, I think. Or he's going to try and defend whatever Solar wants to do to him. And this is the beauty of always semi-all-inning, is that your opponents never know whether your all-in is real or if it's fake or if there's workers behind it or if it, you know, it's just difficult to call. This Phoenix is dead, by the way. The Queen is also dead, and so did a Hydra die. 4 Hydras against 11 Phoenixes, and the Phoenix production is just going to continue. More adepts on the way. Here we go. 17 adepts. So the 5 gateways in the end do produce some sort of value. You know, you get something out of it. Not too much, but something at least. And we'll see if he's going to be capable of doing anything here. I think he will be, because there's just not enough anti-air. If just any amount of these Hydras end up dying, I think this game might just end. What's the upgrades? There's no +1. Roaches are going to be getting lifted up right now. Every single Roach is going to end up falling. All Hydras are in the main. They will have to start fighting these Adepts, but that's a fight that you don't really want to take as a Hydra list. Once again, Adepts are shading out right now after cleaning up every single Hydra in the main. And where's these Adepts at? And we're over here trying to take out the spores so that the Phoenixes will be more useful in this area as well. Do we have more Adepts on the way? Yes, we do. 5 more coming in. More Phoenixes flying forward as well. And every single Overlord is dying. Every single Queen is dying. Even without +1, 16 Phoenixes will be capable of killing a whole lot of units on the ground. And that is exactly what is happening here. No more energy remaining almost. but just barely enough to live these queens. GG gets called, and hero wins this best of 5 with some absolutely fantastic build orders, with some great execution, with an infinite amount of mind games. He's an actual treat to watch. He's the most entertaining Protoss player at the moment. I think more entertaining than Prince even, although Prince does make a pretty decent second with his constant cannon rushing of Terran, his other shenanigans that he pulls out. I just love watching these guys. Yeah, fantastic show. All right, that's going to be it for me today. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hopefully I'll see all of you next time for a new video. Thank you, and bye-bye.